How do I reunite with my alienated child in a way that's fun, in a way that's peaceful, in a way that brings me joy? This is what people ask me all the time when they can't see their child after a high conflict divorce, separation, their ex is batshit crazy, or the step parents got involved and they're like, Ginger, everything I do seems to not work. I've been trying this for years. This is so hard. How can I make this easy? Or a lot of parents say, Ginger, I can't even ask the question how to make this easy. This is impossible. Even you implying that this is easy makes me insane. And that's one thing I noticed when I posted that I was going to be talking about this tonight. This topic got so much pushback compared to other topics I proposed. People said, there's nothing easy about reversing parental alienation. There's nothing easy about reuniting. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. But before I get into this, if you're watching this live, drop in the chat, connect if you are ready to reunite with your child, or you're just interested to see if reuniting is for you. Because there's some parents who aren't ready to unite. They're scared of reuniting, and I understand that too. So drop in the chat, connect, if you're listening right now and you're interested in learning more. I want to introduce myself. I'm Ginger Gentile. I'm a child of high conflict divorce. I've been alienated. I've healed myself. And I decided to make 2 movies about this topic. One is called Erasing Family. That's what this channel is named for. You can watch it for free on YouTube. And it's a film that will encourage children who are alienated to have an aha moment. And it's all about healing. But after I made that film, I was like, I can't stop here. And parents literally began to call me up, being like, Ginger, can you help me reunite with my kid? And at first I was like, I'm a filmmaker. This isn't what I do. And in one moment I was like, you know what? Maybe I should give it a shot. And since then, I've been reuniting parents, helping to heal families full time. So, comment, connect if you are interested in reuniting with your kid. So anyone have a question? Anyone think I'm crazy to even suggest that it can be easy to reunite quickly? That it can be easy to reverse years of parental alienation in months, in weeks, in days. So recently I worked with a mom who reunited after 14 years. I worked with a dad who reunited with his teen daughter after having a restraining order, after the mom of the daughter trying to kill him and his girlfriend, and he did it all without a court order. He just changed how he communicated with his ex. I reunited a dad, 5 years no contact. Son reached out to him. Reunited a mom, 1 year no contact. Son reached out to her. So what we're seeing is that for most parents it's hard because of a few things. One, they're waiting for the parental alienation fairy to show up. And that, what I call the parental alienation fairy, is anyone. It can be me, it can be a judge, a lawyer, a therapist, but someone who's going to come down and talk sense into the situation, talk sense into your kids, and to magically change everything. This fairy doesn't exist. So instead of a fairy, what you need is someone who can help you, who can show you a roadmap, a way through, so you can change how you show up, so you become a magnet that attracts your kids back. But no one, not even a judge, is going to reunite your kids with you. And I know this because I recently worked with a mom who got what every mother wants who's alienated. She got a court order ordering a reunification camp. The dad, who's alienated, had no contact order until he did therapy, which he never did. And guess what? Her daughter's all grown up now and won't talk to her and spends her whole time advocating that parental alienation doesn't exist. The moment you rely on magical third parties to cure your situation, you are giving up your power. The way you get your power back is to lean deeply into what you can change, how you can show up differently. So the next mistake that parents make when they're trying to reunite is they focus so much on what they can sacrifice, how they can be a martyr, how hard they need to work. They focus on their pain, how much money they've spent, how much they miss their kids. And this pushes their kids away from them. The secret is to actually create a life that makes you feel joyful and at peace, because this will attract your kids back. Learning new communication skills, being strong. And what too many parents do is they focus on the pain that they're feeling. Oh, I suffered so much. One day my child will read the court case. One day my child will know the truth. Children don't want to know truth. They want you there to love and support them. They want you to be the strong, healthy parent that they didn't have. And when you're not strong, when you're not healthy, you become a magnet that doesn't attract, but a magnet that repels. And so many parents get stuck in the hurt, and their kids are stuck in the hurt. And so you have two hurt people. Where's the attraction there? And now I know what you're thinking. Ginger, this sounds very Pollyannish, very overly optimistic to just say, I'm going to turn my pain into joy. The trick out of this is not to ignore the pain, not to magically wish it to be something else, but to take the pain you feel as an alienated parent and put that energy into someone or something, some cause that can receive all of the love that is pent up for your child. Maybe it's volunteering. Maybe it's leaning into improving the relationships in your own family. Whatever it is, you need to take that pain and transmute it. Why? It will make you less desperate. And kids will not reunite with a parent who is desperate. Again, this will repel you. You know, I wish my parents had the skills and got the help needed to get me out of the trauma that I was suffering from. My daughter, so Victoria says, my daughter has a therapist that says she can organize a meeting between my daughter and I. I've been alienated for 8 months from her. Victoria. So that is great. How old is your daughter, first of all? That would be great to know. So Victoria, having a third party initiate a meeting is wonderful. But you need to make sure you don't fall into the traps. So many parents, all they want, so your daughter's 13. So many parents, all they want is for the court to order reunification therapy. And the reunification therapist, is, as I said at the beginning, just becomes another parental alienation fairy. A person who you think will be helping you, but they may be laying traps for you. So it's very important when you go in, Victoria. One, I would meet with a therapist first alone if you can, and ask them what you can do to make this situation better, to get the most out of therapy, how you can prepare. Then, if your daughter comes at you with any accusation or any need to apologize, no matter what, thank her for sharing. Thank them. Say, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that you trust me to share your feelings. And then mirror back what she's saying and ask her if you really understand it. So Victoria, this can be a wonderful opportunity, or it can be an awful trap that solidifies you as an alienated mom. So you need to make a decision about how you want to approach it. If you want to fall into the traps, or if you will get help to make sure that you make this opportunity work for you. So many parents who work with me, they come to me because they got reunification therapy and they find out the therapist doesn't want them to get back together. The therapist has no idea how to deal with a situation like this. So it's super important that you have the skills. And if you're open to it, Victoria, I would love to help you make sure you don't fall into the traps. Yeah, you should be afraid. So many parents, most of the parents I work with have been in reunification therapy for months or years, and it's making things worse. And then instead of having this opportunity, having the skills before the therapy, they seek help when the situation gets bad. So I think what's most important for parents to understand is that alienated children think that what they're going through is normal. In most cases, they don't know that they're alienated, there is anything wrong. Because as children, we think however we grow up is normal. And as we become adults, we begin to realize that it's not normal or it's not healthy. So the most important thing you can do, to all the parents listening, Dawn, and which I wish my parents did, is to show up with unconditional love. I would get mad at my dad, and my dad would get mad back at me and then say that he didn't want to see me. So many parents who are alienated get mad at their children. They don't want to take a step forward. They want to be right and not give their child what they need. So when I was an alienated child, when my parents were fighting, I thought this was normal. It wasn't until I was an adult that I realized that this wasn't normal. And then I had to develop the skills to reunite and connect with my family because my mom and my dad were so broken. I didn't want to have anything to do with either of them. And this is very common. We don't talk about this as much as we should with alienation. That for a lot of parents, this is really harmful. So I actually have been working on parental alienation as a documentary filmmaker for 4 years. I was in this theme studying it. And I just thought my dad was bad. And I felt bad for the other dads who were good who couldn't see their kids. That's how deep it runs. I was making a documentary on parental alienation for 4 years before I realized I was alienated. And the only time that I began to wake up was when a bystander told me that I sound like a divorced woman and not a daughter when I talked to my dad, because he would call me and I just hang up the phone. He'd say, "Hey, it's your dad," and I just hang up. And then the other thing was my dad wrote me a letter, and he said in the letter that when I was born, I wasn't breathing, and he gave me like infant CPR. And I said, "Oh, wow, my dad didn't want me to die. I thought my dad wanted me dead my whole life." Now, why? Because out of his anger, he said, "The biggest mistake I made in my life was marrying your mom." And he married my mom because he was pregnant with me. So I was like, wow, I'm my dad's biggest mistake. If my dad had had the skills, things would have been a lot different. I maybe never even would have been alienated. But my dad made so many mistakes. If you don't do something, your kids are going to repeat this cycle over and over again, and their grandchildren repeat this cycle. So I want to invite the people who are ready or who are considering about reuniting to join. Now, here's the best part. You get to try this out for 10 days. If you don't like it, we'll give you your money back. That's how confident we are. And you can see the testimonials. We've reunited parents 14 years after alienation, 1 year after alienation, young kids in court. I worked with the dad, and the day before the trial, the mom called him up and settled and gave him everything he wanted. So Marissa says, "My ex-husband tells our children that respect is earned and not given. I haven't earned their respect." Nope, that's not true. You see, Marissa, you got to get the alienation to stop. He could say whatever he wants. Thank you so much for joining tonight. And remember, reuniting can be fun and it can be easy if you know the steps. And the steps we teach in the roadmap have worked for so many other families in situations even worse than yours. I know it will work for you too. Remember, this isn't a cookie cutter approach. These are taking the same steps and then learning how to apply them to your situation, which is why we have live group coaching calls. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.